My name is Abhay Ramanathan. I stand here in front of you as an eager candidate contesting for the post of President of Rangoli. Since the time I've come to the United States, almost all the people whom I know and are not Indian always find one topic of discussion very amusing. As you guessed, it's about India. But the topic of discussion is far from religion, culture and celebration. Almost every one of these guys ask me about scandals, the corruption that we have in our country, the Delhi rape case that happened recently, in fact the Hyderabad bomb blast that happened yesterday. And none of them is able to appreciate the traditional or cultural value that India has to offer. So the first, most obvious question that I want to answer here is why I'm standing for this post. It's for the same reasons the previous presidents Prabjot, Rishabh and the people ahead of him stood for. To spread awareness and joy of a rich culture that we proudly call Indian. Part of this is to organize events and celebrate, or if I may say, show with pride, our Indian festivals through emulation of traditions, like the traditional clothes that we wear, the traditional food that we eat, and other forms of traditional art, like painting, dancing, etc. In my experience, I've had a few opportunities to organize engineering events and seminars. I believe that the transformation from that kind of an environment to a more international culture-oriented style of event should not be daunting enough. Moving on to an experience of a leadership role that I've had, there have been only a couple. In my undergrad, I was a representative of my department. Of course, that post required more of a negotiating and settling kind of an approach among students and professors than it did organizing. But I believe that having served for 2 years in that post has given me a certain grasp of ethics and dispute solving, which I know will help me to a certain extent when I'm president, if I become president. At Penn, I'm currently on the board of the Graduate Student Engineering Group as a representative again of my department. In the last few months, I've organized 2 events for them, and they've been very successful. Granted, that's a very small group, and keeping track of people wasn't very difficult. I understand that in the case of the Indian Association, there are almost 1,000 members, and I would need to work a lot harder to keep abreast with event organization and coordination. Honestly, for this reason, I'm happy that the board has 8 members. It would alleviate much of my work and culminate in a group effort. Sorry, it's a little long. The most important concern for people who are voting for me today is free booze. To that end, I promise that at least one event will be free alcohol. Another concern is that many of us want to watch as many cricket and football matches in the big screen as possible. I plan to keep that promise as well. We celebrate many other festivals besides Holi and Diwali at back home, and I wish to work towards some of that event, given that we have one important thing that I want to work on is try and increase the non-Indian student attendance to one of our major events, or all of our major events. That way, people from other cultures can actually celebrate with us, can learn something new about us, and they'll probably see us in a new light. I know that these promises may not convince all of you to vote for me. So my final offer is everybody who votes for me can come to Drinkers next Thursday and 10 to 12 to 75% beers around me. I'm coming! And I know that many of you don't drink alcohol, many of you don't have tea and coffee as well. So my offer extends to those people as dinner at any Indian restaurant. Okay, moving to slightly serious note, one of the first things that I will take charge of in this project, like everyone has said, the first method would be to go to GAPSA and apply for discretionary or the general fund. Another approach, like I think Siddharth mentioned, was going to companies for sponsorship, and in return we'll have to probably advertise for them or probably let them talk about their company and products at our events. I remember that this worked well because in my undergraduate university, almost all of our events were actually sponsored by companies. Our college is pretty sad that way. Oh yeah, last thing, I'm sorry, I lost my thing. Yeah, last but not least, I'm going to try after donations from the Penn alumni. I know it may not work for obvious reasons, but I'm sure that there are some Penn graduates who want to push Rangoli forward. In fact, I'm very confident that the previous board of Rangoli will be happy to donate in favor of our community. Just to inform you, I'll accept cash, check or wire transfer. In the end, I just want to thank all of you for listening to me. I apologize, I did try to make this funny, but as it turns out, I'm not that funny. I'll be glad to answer any questions here, although I prefer you to applaud and I sit down.
Hi, I'm Nirmal. Most of you already know me. I'm standing for the president post. It's a disadvantage me coming the last, and most of the points you've thought of already been spoken of. I'll probably work on all the 4 events in a better manner. Maybe do something better. The pickup, airport pickup, the accommodation, work on these things. Increase collaboration with other colleges. See, make use of resources Drexel has in place, like the Drexel Undergrad Association. Pragati has loads of students. There are many resources, better facilities. So it's not. It's okay if we collaborate more with them and make use of these resources. They organize a very big Diwali event, 500, 600 of them. It's good if we get 100, 200 of us can squeeze in and make it a bigger event. And a couple of more things I'd like to touch on. I'll say being in close touch with Prabjot, where I know funds has been a major concern all along. Say it's difficult getting funds. Say Prabjot told me today, for getting funds from GEPSA, you need to satisfy certain constraints, like need to have a event where non-Indian students are invited as well. So I probably look forward to tweak something and get more funds from GEPSA. And also cost cutting, like this Diwali event, we make prasad from the Gurdwara rather than spending 400, 300, 400, getting something made from outside. Cost cutting on these things, like minimizing costs on such things. And also organizing a little more events, like more Indian events, like movies, a visit to the nearest ISKCON temple, something which keeps you close to your root. And that's what I would thought.
Face of
Good evening, everyone. From the night. My name is Nirav, as you all know. And if you don't know, this is what my name is, Nirav. First of all, when I came to US, I realized in the very first month that I cannot live without India. I cannot stay without my family. I know it's 270, but it's what I felt. Thing is that I was thinking like, jitna jaldi ho sake khatam karu. I should finish the masters. I should earn money and go back and just live with my family happily. Why did I come here and all that stuff? Thing is, after I have a younger brother, a real younger brother, back at home in India. I miss him a lot. We have events here. After the events, like freshers and Garba. Garba is my favorite. So after the events and even before that, all the guys sitting here of my batch, they are more than a brother. They are more than brothers for me. They are all my younger brothers. We both are from the same batch, as everyone told, as he told you. Nirmal, we both are from the same college. Like Rangoli, there was a society back in India, ISTE. We have worked. He's my junior and I was a senior, and we have worked. We have made ISTE proud. And
we all have good events together.
Yeah. So I'm sure I'm like more than happy. Like Nirmal is standing here with me, because I would like to be selfish and take the credit that back in India, some inspiration from seniors like us, the juniors are like good. Obviously, we will do it. I have worked in L&D. Abhay is related to L&D. I'm not related. So we know them very well. We have known Abhay. So now, tell me, where's the competition? Why is this so much hype? That yeah, president and group and party and all that stuff. It's nothing like that. Thank you, like that. And okay, when I spoke about my brother, girls, please don't worry, I don't have any sister. So I don't know. Sorry, made joke. Okay, now when I call you all as my family, it's like, you know, very obvious that Pen Rangoli becomes my home. And frankly speaking, last year when I saw Viren, Prabjot, Rahul, these three were like, always there in the, like always seen in the functions. Maybe other group board members would be the backstage heroes. So I used to see them work, and honestly I used to think that, यार ये मुझसे नहीं होगा. जो ये लोग काम करते हैं ना, like I won't be able to, मतलब इतना time ये सब कैसे दूंगा? I am here to study, यार, I cannot. यहाँ पे like just 5 days before, जब Facebook पे सब शुरू हुआ है, मेरे नाम का सब बोर्ड लगा है, आदित्य thanks. Even before that, I met Prabjot a day night before, and he asked me like, are you going to be like sign up anything? I said I don't think so. I'll be able to manage. That was the thing which I told him. But like Hindustani khun hai na, reh ke kholta hai. So when it came near, I thought, yeah, I should do it. I should do it for this. I'm made for this. Okay, now those who know me, those who know my gutuness, those who know me, they know how well I am in managing things, how well I am in bringing paisa from everywhere. Okay, but those who don't know me, for them, there is just some statistics which I would like to tell you. The thing about the society which I told you, which is Indian Society for Technical Education, for which back in India, I was in the 3rd year of my undergraduation. I was selected as one of the junior council members. It was the first year of the society. We had 3 more societies, and they were established like more than 10 years in our college. So this was like IST, kya kar lega, kya ukhad lega, and all that stuff. Frankly speaking, Arvind, no offense. So he's also part of my college, and he was one of the society. So, but our seniors actually brought up. We managed to, have a membership of more than 400 students in the very first year. Second year, I was elected as senior secretary cum treasurer, being a class representative and a placement coordinator for my class. So it was too much of load on me. I was also the topic for my class. That was also one more load for me. But being a treasurer, I was given the fund from my senior treasurer, who was a senior treasurer here too, Harsh Mehta. I think you would be knowing him. They gave me a fund of like 8,000 rupees, and we had done 8 events. At the end of the year, we managed to do 11 events, and we had a fund for our future batch of more than 30,000 rupees. This is what I can do. I know I can do well. I have contacts, I have network, and that's what I'm going to use for Rangoli, because it's my family. And secondly, I always say secondly because there is no third thing for me, it's only secondly. So, sorry. Thinking about future, what are the events we're going to do, what are the events I'll do. I would say that what all you have done is marvelous, because whenever I used to see that, I used to always feel that बहुत अच्छा किया है, मैं नहीं कर पाऊँगा. Okay, so you all have done is good. I would try to, with such a good team here, I am already seeing that if I become a president, I have already such a good team. मुझे कुछ करना ही नहीं है. I have to just. That ये कोई प्रेशर कुकर नहीं है. हम यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी मर रहे हैं प्रेशर कुकर में. Rangoli is our home where we are coming to relax, just chill, enjoy. मैं तुम लोग यही बोलते रहूँगा पूरे साल. If I'm the president. Okay. So my goal would be to live up to the tradition which these people are leaving behind. At least उतना तो अच्छा हमने किया है. If we achieve that, we'll do something ahead. We'll try to take something ahead. And just one thing which I feel should be added, if I am able to, is that we have a great network with seniors. The thing is, we don't organize and utilize it. If possible, I'll try to bring the alumni, contact them, and arrange some, sessions with them, so that every Indian, I'm sure, should be placed. So that's what for career, from career point of view. Definitely, वो भी जरूरी है यार, इतना पैसा खर्च करके. Okay, so I would like to end my speech by saying, कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में.
Okay, so I just want to say something for these people before we ask them things. So Abhay has been really enthusiastic about this position. He was like, Nirav also came, but probably even before we announced the elections, Abhay was like, how do I do this? From the day that we've announced it, like almost every day he's telling me, okay, how does this happen? He wanted to know everything. Like, I really like that part about Abhay. He's been really enthusiastic about this post. About Nirmal, I guess he's always been there. Whatever event was there, like he's been there. I've seen Siddharth out there, Abhijit was there. Like these people have been really helpful. They've helped our batch a lot. And like from the board, we are really thankful to them. In fact, even during the freshers, they even helped us clear stuff out there. So that was really good of you guys. And also I want to add that the board also owes Nirmal $100 right now. He's contributed towards the Diwali party. So I really like the commitment of Nirmal. And like as you guys have seen, Nirav, he's really confident about whatever he's talking. So I feel like going ahead, the board is going to go in some really good hands, whichever one of you is selected. So I wish you guys good luck. Now this coming to Nirmal, so I heard that you were really excited about a collaboration with Pen Design. What was the reason for that? For the Holi event?
All along we have that. We have that thing in our mind, like engineering girls. What? Energetic set of people in
Okay, Abhay, you had a comment that probably if you come to the board, like you're looking at having Onam but at the expense of some other event. What was that?
What?
Like,
No, I didn't say the extent of any other event.
you said like instead of Holi we should have Onam.
I said instead of celebrating only one major event, you should try and celebrate more as well. That's all I meant.
Alright, so now just coming to my main question. So being on the board and like being the president, one thing that I feel the most important quality out here is kind of the Indian thing about doing jugaad for everything that you, like for every function that you have to do something like that.
Right.
So I just want to know from you guys, could you just give me an example of something like that?
I did not last night.
So I want to know from you guys, like, if you are put in such kind of a situation, if you could give me an example of how you got something done when it wasn't possible, like the straight way.
Okay, in my undergrad we had cultural event, like a dance show, and for that we needed sponsorship, and obviously our college didn't give a shit. So what we did was, one of my close friends, uncle, he was the director of Dubai Drydock, and that's like a huge company over there. So what we did was, we kind of, pulled him in and saying, family or half do types, and we kind of, stuck to it. And we promised him that we will somehow help him return. We did advertise for their company, and unke pamphlets aaye the, we kept that as well. So that was the jugaad that I did, because I was given an opportunity to work in organizing cultural events only twice actually.
When it comes to jugaad, like cost cutting at every single place you could make of. Like suppose we're organizing some event, trying to convince, say, I stay right about Evans Pizza. So that guy knows me very well. So we do keep on getting discounts. That guy's like offers us discounts, like take this for free. Making good contacts with these sort of people. Maybe make good contacts with the caterers. Like find an Indian caterer in the nearby area. Try convincing, make regular contacts with him. So like all the events in this year will be done in collaboration with you. So maybe we get heftier discounts, better discounts in this context. And yes, definitely the Indian community. Suppose we land in such a situation like now.
Yeah. Go on.
Suppose suppose we need a big hall or something. We're not able to make use of the contacts we have. Say, everyone around, or say someone has contacts in the biotech department, someone in the CS department. Make use of those contacts to get some resources.
Jugaad, undergrad, we had, like in the final year, we have to have a symposium, annual symposium. Now, every society cannot splurge more money because we used to get much sponsorship. So you cannot spend everything on the students, like, distributing pen drives and all that stuff. It's rated bigger in our college. So teachers keep a cap of like 65 rupees per student. This is what you have to spend per student. Okay. So, and we actually, were well below the cap. We showed that we need 57 rupees per student. And actually, we spent 85 rupees per student. And the records still show 57 rupees per student. इससे बड़ा जुगाड़ I don't think मुझे पता है. Secondly, ये जुगाड़ करने के बावजूद, इतना finance का झोल करने के बावजूद, apart from some seniors of our batch, those who are actually taking part in this, taking the decision, even juniors from the staff council will not be aware of it. None of them are aware of it. So even when you do jugaad, it's very important that you should not be caught. So many times
I think let's just stop talking about this now. It's on camera.
So the thing out here was not doing something illegal. It was more about like how you could, kind of get things done by using the resources you have, but like it isn't directly possible building contacts and stuff like that. But okay, we also appreciate the quality that you have. But going ahead, just remember one thing: whenever you're in this post, you should in no means break any laws that are set for you.
Okay, being on the board as board members, there are two big challenges. One is, of course, the money. Funding is very, very difficult. And one reason is, of course, you guys mentioned about GAPSA, getting funds from GAPSA. The biggest challenge we face there is that most of our events are solely for Indians, and Indians show up for our events, but it's not many other people apart from Indians show up, and that's the main constraint here. We do not, GAPSA has a lot of money, trust me. Yeah. But then the reason we are not getting it is because we are not meeting those expectations. So do you guys plan to do anything? If so, what? And secondly, the other challenge we as board members have is the fact that it's very difficult to put in the time it requires, especially during the events. There's just so many things to be done, and it's really difficult. There are 8, 9 people. Making sure everyone has the time and to arrive at the same time is very difficult and leads to a lot of conflict. What do you guys plan to do? How do you manage it?
First thing, collaborate closely with other associations, the Chinese association here, and keep events open. The portal of, suppose now, we keep an event completely dedicated to it, suppose portal of Indian culture, paintings, some event completely dedicated to it, where they come and get a gist of Indian culture all along and register one of the events and get some. So basically employing other associations to help us look forward.
As far as GAPSA is concerned, I would say when Rangoli is meant to be an Indian association, it's for Indian students. Whatever event are relate to India directly. So I am confident that GAPSA members like Rajatesh and Raghavendran, those who are right now, will be there working with us. They will be able to convince the GAPSA team that this event need not be more multicultural thing, because it's meant to be for Indian events and try to get funds for us. That's one thing. Secondly, if at all we are not able to get more funds from GAPSA, we'll have to think of some other source. Like what he said, like what everyone said, alumni thing, because alumni is they pass out, they will start earning, they won't mind, donating $1,500. And if there are 100 alumni, $10,000 can do anything with it. So it's just a thought of mine. That's one thing, trying to get some sponsorship from company, if possible from the context of alumni. That can be thought of parallelly. And meanwhile, as far as GAPSA problem is concerned, I feel that rather than we can try to do something, calling other communities and show that our event is multicultural. But that doesn't seem feasible to me because more people won't be interested to it. So rather than we would try to convince GAPSA and make sure that they shell out some money for it because we are students like as well.
That's actually a good question. So talking about getting more money from GAPSA, it's actually difficult. Like you said, they have very stringent guidelines, and we don't come up to it because we don't call other culture students, right? So I know for a fact that Chinese people actually celebrated the New Year just about 3 weeks back, and around 4 or 5 months back they celebrated Spring Festival in October. So I was really interested to go for that, and they were willing to invite people who are not Chinese as well. I mean, of course, you won't understand most of what they say, but they were willing to at least call us. So I believe that if you're willing to go and learn about their culture, Spring Festival and New Year, Chinese New Year and stuff like that, just small things that would help us build a better relationship with them. Maybe have them open a discussion, mainly in English, so that there's better communication to begin with. And also, if we do get them on board, GAPSA will be willing to give us almost $10,000. I mean, that's what I know from a GAPSA representative, actually, Rajitesh. He said that they have funds for specific events, but the group should not be limited to its own community or its own school, like the C school, or coming to that area. If it's willing to call other departments or other religions, other cultures, they are willing to give funds of close to 10,000. Of course, they'll probably sanction only 5 or 6,000, but I think that's a start.
Okay, so now so far we've just spoken about how all the members work together once you're in the board, but I think that if you're the president, there's always going to be that little bit extra that you have to do. There will be times when all the other board members will be busy, and no matter how close friends all of you all are with whoever else gets elected, you are the face of Rangoli. And there will be times when you will have to single-handedly kickstart things, and if no one else is responding, get things done yourself. Prabjot did that a lot of the time. When a lot of us were busy or didn't respond, he managed things himself. And I'm just curious to know whether there are instances where you've worked with, I wouldn't say an uncooperative group, but an unresponsive group. People didn't have much time. Have you headed such a group in the past, and how have you worked with it? It's not like, I don't expect an answer where you're like, I'll try to convince them, because people just don't have the time.
Right. So I've never worked with a group because, like I told you, I was a representative for my batch, the mechanical engineering batch, so I was the only representative. Okay. So the one instance that comes to my mind is actually there was a prank that one of my friends had played in class. He'd actually used super glue on a projector, so the classroom was. It was kind of childish, actually. But actually the dean took it really seriously and was going to literally suspend the entire class for a week. So all I had to do that time was negotiate, and I actually managed to convince him to just take a fine for about 2,500. That's like around 20,000 bucks. So that I convinced the guy who made the prank to actually pay it, because I told him that if you don't pay, then I'm going to tell everybody else. He got scared of that, obviously. So my experience of handling it on my own, I mean, I actually proudly say that I did handle it on my own, but I don't think that was so difficult. And as far as picking up people goes, I'm actually doing research in college, so I'll be staying over the summer. So I know a few other people who are doing research, who are my batchmates, and like you said, I'm not going to say that I'm going to convince them. Okay. But I understand that if we need to pick up people, 10 offers of 10 bus service, which I remember the EMBS batch took for laser tag recently, and that was free of cost. I think that I can actually, they did, right? I mean, Arun told me that.
Thank God.
So anyway, so I think if we speak to them, we can probably get a bus arranged. I could probably do this.
I got a couple of chances to portray individual skills like this. I organized an annual trip to Goa, so for 50 of my batchmates. No one was willing to come forward. Like, we headed to a travel agent or something, having a standard is 500 rupees, 500 bucks extra for a single ticket, return and 2 and 4. So I personally had to go stand and sit. Personally head to the Mumbai CS local station. Tried to convince only in India there's a slight restriction. There are only 3 types of people who get bulk bookings, like if it's a marriage or if it's a pilgrimage thing. So I personally had to go talk to them, make use of contacts. So basically I was responsible for planning the entire trip, right from the train reservations to hotel bookings in Goa. I don't know how many calls I made back in Goa, say get the most economical thing, and say convincing people. Say that many not willing to, not getting permission from families, or they're not willing, say I don't have a good group to fit in, say convincing people. So basically I was majorly responsible for organizing the entire trip out there. with little support from anyone else.
Any reason you took so much trouble?
Getting a chance to say for some final year, so be completion of making memories.
Okay, the problem which you actually said, and that is where leadership comes into picture. The main crux of this would be like, you should know how to motivate people. Now, this would sound very silly, but the thing is, like what you said, like what Prabjot used to do, is like a way of motivation. If for some reason no one is able to come, he himself takes the stand and does everything. Like when at least a board member sees that Prabjot itna kar raha hai, itna mar raha hai, then obviously but ultimately we are friends. So that's one thing. And as far as my experiences are concerned, like in my diploma I was a class representative, and there it was like only 2 people of us, one of me and my friend. The whole class of 50 students wanted to go for IB, and first of all the permission ही नहीं है. So from taking the permission, getting the companies and calling to Pune, it was Pune, for 2 days, overnight. Convincing everyone that overnight में कोई problem नहीं होगा, that's a big issue there in India, that overnight girls, boys cannot go. In our college, the trip which Nirmal is saying Goa, that's okay. Like, unofficial, now it comes, I was going to say this example also in that illegal thing. In our college, it was totally banned. From last 7 years or 8 years, it was totally banned. No overnight IVs for any of the students. We all wanted, अरे यार एक तो memory होनी चाहिए life में IV, okay? And like not me especially, but the board of 2-3 people which we were there on the top, we took the initiative and we made it. We convinced everyone officially. There was a tweak which we need to do. We had to collaborate with all the societies and had to take only one single IV for all the college. But we managed to get an overnight IV, and since then in our college there has been an overnight IV by every society in India. So.
Anyone have any question? Yeah.
So, two people mentioned Chinese association. Could I have the name and how to reach out?
It's not difficult. We have maybe we can make use of contacts in the Chinese constitution. Already I made so many.
So yeah,
everyone seems to be talking more about the money. I understand that's one thing is very important. But you're the face of Rangoli. How is that? I mean, you are representing the community. You say you want to have a collaboration with Pen Design, but it's you who has to come in and talk about it. How? I mean, what in you do you think is a quality that can get you to get people in? Why do you think you should be the face? Because there are so many of us. The board is of 8 people and everyone does put in a lot of effort into it. Why should you be a president and not just a board member? That's like my question.
First of all, okay, collaboration and all thing, I am not thinking about that right now because the first thing is to, carry on the tradition, the legacy which you have given us, the basic events which we do. First we should be able to do that, okay? And regarding that phase and that part, thing is we have more of 8 people. We will think about a strategy. Okay, if I feel that for a particular task I am not the best person, but a particular person is best suited for it, I would step back and tell them, you come with me and you will be the head for this task. It's not like I am president or he is president. For me, actually, those all of you who will have come here and shown up this spirit, rather than sitting back at home, you all are presidents, you all are treasurers, you all are
Our politics is about balancing skills and socializing very easily, gelling people around as my plus points. Say convincing people, so basically everything around requires communication, effective communication. So convincing and socializing, being friends with them, gelling easily with them. I do consider these as the strong points. So I practically make use of them. And
Heavy hoarding boards on Facebook.
So to answer your question, I believe that the president's only skill should be knowing the nuts and bolts of the entire community, what our funding is, what our capabilities are, what our requirements are, and what we're not meeting if we need more funding. As far as the face of the organization goes, I don't think the president is the face of the organization. I think originally the PR should be the face of the organization. And actually, come to think of it, all the 8 members are equally representing the entire community. The only point of the president, I would say, is like a feedback system, maybe, to solving disputes. Like Aryan said that if his friends aren't elected, then he's going to have a lot of problems coordinating with the new guys, right? So I feel that should be an important thing that the president should do. Solve that dispute, get that out of the way. As far as collaborating with pen design goes, which was his idea.
No, that was...
there's a holy event which already...
I'm not blaming him.
Okay, yeah.
It's his idea. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just saying it's his idea. So as far as the president's role for that goes, I think it should just be initiating talks, probably giving a presentation. And since the president is expected to know everything, he should be able to do a good questionnaire. I think that's important. I think the rest of it should be handled by each of the other members equally. I mean, if they say we want to talk to your PR, that's who they go to. That's it. I'm sorry?
How would you know who voted for you? How will you know if you people will take power?
I don't know.
Like everybody would come up to you and tell you, though I voted for you.
The thing is, this time he said there's a list of voters available, and he said that we'll also know who's voted for who.
We will know. We will know.
If I do win, I mean, I'm sure you'll share that with me, so I know who to treat and who not to. That's just playing fair, come on.
Program and how do you promise free goods without even like you don't know what the budget will be? How can you promise?
I'm sorry? I didn't get
That's his personal budget.
Is that out of your personal budget?
Oh, no, of course not.
Then where is it going?
Oh, the community. The association.
Anyone has any other questions?
And if you go to distributors, rather than virtually get cheaper.
That's what I would really like to thank all people who've come here to stand for various positions. I think it takes a lot of last time we had a lot of fun during the Rangoli election time, so yeah.
This time also I'm also back.
No,
Breaking news.
I'm back.
Are you going to keep doing that?
No,
आज तक भी post किसका दे रहा है?
You were a last interview with the presidents.
Yeah, so just I think everyone had really good observations about how to take the organization forward. I think we have amazing people right now.